Today at Home with Miss Joan, do y'all want to talk a little Christmas? Well, I got to thinking about a class that I taught at women's conferences called Deck the Halls and Not Your Family. Because sometimes you just want to sock them good because we're just under so much stress. But we need to talk about Christmas and the different topics that incorporate all around the holiday and talk about how it can go smoother and better for our family so we can actually enjoy Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year and not let it be the most stressful time of the year. Some of the topics I thought that I would discuss with you today is planning, because that does relieve our stress levels for us women. We feel like we're magicians and we got to pull the rabbit out of the hat. Oh, here comes the holiday, here comes Christmas. I got to pull the rabbit out of the hat. And so to speak, I got to pull Christmas out of the hat so my family will have a great Christmas. Well, we don't want you to be stressed about it. We want you to enjoy everything that you're going to do for your family this year. And one of them involves planning, the budget. Oh, ouch, we don't want to talk money too, but we'll talk it just a little bit. It's so important. Gifts, because, all of us need to trim back on gifts. And then food. That's a big thing during Christmas. We like to enjoy special foods. Decorating, of course, I've already got my decorating done, but it's a wonderful thing to do, but it needs to be planned out. And then talk about guests coming, a guest room, or whatever you have to get ready. And then I would like to end the video with the true meaning of Christmas. For me, our family is keeping the focus on Jesus. So, okay, let's just get going and do a little talking. I just make me a homemade Christmas planner. I call it Deck the Halls, Not Your Family. It's just a notebook and where I put things personal that I want to accomplish during this holiday season. And when I'm talking about holiday, I'm not trying to leave out the word Christmas because that's very important to me. It covers Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. I incorporate those three things into my planning when I sit down to plan. When we talk about planning, what I do is I just take the 3 months, month at a glance, and put it in my notebook. Like I start October, November, and of course the big December gets put in here. And then I just made a little Word document down here and put to do, and I list all kind of special things, goals that I want to accomplish this Christmas. And that's what I do in my calendar planning. When you think about planning for Christmas, when do you start, Miss Joan? Well, you can see I put out 3 months here. You should start after Christmas this year, thinking about next Christmas. And in fact, one of the things that I write in my notebook is things that I want to improve on or things that I don't want to do again. And that way, when I start thinking about next year, it's like, no, we didn't really enjoy that. We're not going to put ourselves through that again this year. So start now, just making little notes about things you've already blew it on, you want to improve on, and then when you review next year, you'll be ready for it, okay? And after we do the planning, I go about thinking about a budget. And I know we're going to spend a little bit of time on that. I could take a long time. I love looking at budget things, but it is so necessary. And you'll think, well, Miss Joan, it's too late for me to budget for this year. What you need to do is just get your little notebook and start writing down all the things that you're spending on, okay? And then in January, when you really need to think about next Christmas, then you notate, oh, this is how much we spent. Add it up, divide it by 12, and start saving that amount of money every month, and you'll be ready for next year. And this little page right here, which incorporates the 3 holidays for me, has all the things on it that I allow in my, what I call Christmas or holiday budget. And I don't want to just read every little item for you, but some things that will jump out at you that sometimes we forget about is all that we spend on the holiday meals, the special foods, cakes and pies and gingerbread houses and birthday cakes for Jesus or cookie decorating night. All of that adds up. Parties for classes and jobs and school. Some people want the matching pajamas and all of this in your clothing budget. It's just a lot. Special events you want to go to. The Nutcracker. Wow, well, you're going to have to buy tickets and that's going to come out of your budget. Keep up with all of that. And then in January, you allow for all of that in adding up all these totals. Preacher and I, we've already done this for so long. We think about all the things that we're going to do for Christmas, and then we add it up, we divide it by 12, and I put it in my planner here, my regular yearly budget. And then I have a special line for Christmas. And then what I've done is I took what I spent last year, I divided by 12, and I know how much I want to spend allow for next year, and maybe add a little increase, or I may have to cut back on it. But at least you'll kind of know going into the holiday how much that you're going to spend. I know that's not a very good topic for me to talk to you about. If you'll look back in some of my other videos, I don't know if we'll get to link them here, but I did a calendar planning and time management class, and also I did a simple, it's called Simple Budget. That's 2 different videos right there that you can refer back to when you get time. Then after the budget, let's talk about gifts, because that's a big line item in our budget, isn't it? Well, I just typed up from a notebook a gift list, and I put Preacher's name right here and his sizes, and then little gift ideas that are wish lists that I would love to get Preacher and then I put the amount of the budget, Christmas budget, that I want to spend on Preacher. Other people in your family too, see, you write down when you purchased it, what store you got it at. You want to save the tickets, of course, and then the cost of it. You might say, I'm going to spend $100 on my daughter. Well, I might spend $20 here, then my balance in my budget's $80 if I'm going to spend $100. When I buy something else, I record it, and I've got down, I still got $50 more to spend on her, and just so like that. And it kind of helps me stay in track. I will show you right here. In the front of my Christmas planner, I keep one of those little school bags called a pencil. You put all your receipts in here, and that way, if they had to go take something back, then you got the receipts with them. And I just copied it over and over and over here for a gift list for other people. Something I might want to get other family members. There it is. All right. What are some ways? Think about some ways you can cut back on. Like, I remember in our family, we started just drawing names in the extended family. We did that for several years. And then I can remember my mother-in-law. She has gone on now, but, she just lived on a fixed income. I'm there now. I'm retired, and I understand what that's like. But my heart went out to her, and we said, well, let's just don't do gifts. Let's have a party, a Christmas party with games. Do you know the whole family, including all the kids, loved it? They never knew what the game was going to be. It was so much suspense, and we just did time where the adults were right in there playing with the kids. They loved it, and it still goes on today. Even though she's passed on, they love to play games. So that's something that you can do, and they forget all about the gifts. Or think about sentimental gifts. I've received so many, like, somebody will have a special picture of my mother, and they'll frame it and give it to me. It's like, oh, wow. It wasn't a gift that cost them a lot of money. It was the thought that went behind it. There's so many things that we can do to give a gift to someone, to acknowledge them, but it doesn't have to break the bank, At least it down in the comments, if you got some good ways that you save and it makes people still feel special, then post those in the comments. But under gifts, I've got to where now I'll get in the kitchen, I'll make several chocolate pies, and I'll just go around giving chocolate pies to some of my cousins and relatives that I want to give a gift to. And they appreciate. I like giving consumable gifts, something that you can eat up or use up, because people has enough stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Preacher will make me a coupon book. I love that, okay? And it don't cost him anything, but he gets in there on the typewriter, Lord have mercy, the computer, and he types out, 1 coupon good for a good foot massage and back rub. Whoo, do you not think I redeemed that coupon? Of course I do. And then it'll say, good for 1 steak supper somewhere, or I'm going to cook you a steak supper on the grill. Well, I love that. Just little things. I remember one years ago, I made my mama a coupon book, and it said, good for free house cleaning. I'll come over and be your slave for a day, or your servant for a day. Did you know? She called in every one of them coupons, and she liked to work me to death, and she loved it, because she said, let's get this closet. I never can reach this. I can't do this. And she loved it. So think outside the box for gifts this year, okay? And you'd be surprised at how much people love just simple gifts, and lots of times it's because they love that time that you're spending together. Even though you're working for them, you're having a joyful and a fun time. I still remember that time. Lots of people have come to where they just give 4 gifts to their kids instead of so many. Something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. And wouldn't that be just a great 4 gifts to get? Now, some people just do 3 gifts because of the Bible saying that the wise men brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh when Jesus was born. So they give them 3 gifts and saying that's the number of gifts that Jesus received from the wise men. But we can all explain all this and talk to the kids too about gift giving, because most of the time, some of the little bitty kids, they'd rather play in the box than enjoy the item that was in the box. Y'all know that. We just need an evenly paced Christmas season, and it doesn't have to all be about the most expensive gift. You know, the best gift to me is what Jesus did for us, coming into the world, and we can't top that. We just need to be thankful for it and enjoy this time of the year. Okay, well, also in my book, I do keep up with the gifts I receive so that I can be sure and write thank you notes. I'm a stickler about thanking people who do something special for me like that. And so I have a place where it says gifts received and thank you, especially when preacher was pastoring the church for so long. So many people would give us gifts, and I wanted to make sure that we acknowledged those gifts and wrote thank you notes to everybody. So I always had this and kept up with it. And also sending out Christmas cards. I have a list here of the names of the people that I want to send Christmas cards to and their addresses, and then I put a little check mark if it got mailed. This is in my Christmas planner. Like I said, you can make you one. You're going to love it when you get used to having it. It's like I reach for this book, and I love to work in it during the Christmas season. Well, okay, I told you that we were going to talk about the budget, we were going to talk about gifts, and we were going to talk about food. Well, y'all know from my channel and I think it's 80 videos right now I've already done, that I really do love food. But what I noticed about the holiday is you want the same type food. We really on Christmas morning love a country breakfast. Well, in my planner, I have my country breakfast menu already here, and I just check off, okay, we're going to have some ham, we're going to have some gravy, and and go on, we're going to have eggs and biscuits, of course, and go on down. And I have this in my Christmas planner, and then I roll it into my grocery list to make sure we have everything. Now, also, I inventory my freezer. I can make sure that I have stuff on hand that we need to cook. A while back, I did a video called Freezer Inventory, if you want to go and look that up. But I like to do one a month, for sure every other month, so I can see what's stocked up in my freezers, and then I can know how to roll that into my cooking. And also over here, I have our large dinner menu that we like, the country chicken and dressing and ham and potato salad like we eat down here in the South. Well, I've got all of that down here on my menu plan, so I make sure I have all of these foods stocked up here in the house for us to have ready, and I won't be running crazy to the grocery store. In my Christmas planner also, I have a copy of my grocery list. They keep changing up my grocery store, and I do a lot of online ordering now, but I just check off what all that we need, and I also did a video on that. Pantry, right? How to never run out of anything. Now, you need to look that up sometime when you get time, because it goes into how you can keep that pantry stocked, and you can cook for company any time of the year, not just at Christmas, what we're talking about right now. The main thing is for you to just calm down and think about, okay, I'm not hosting Christmas this year, but my mother-in-law is. What do I need to take to her house? So we'll be ready. Go ahead and get it stocked up so you won't have so much stress on you Christmas Eve and Christmas Day when you'll have to take off over there and enjoy the family. We're going to talk about decorating. I love decorating, and if you know me, you know that I decorate for a lot of things, not just at Christmas. I do Christmas, and then I'll have a little winter scene running up down my table, and of course we do spring, Easter, and then I do 4th of July patriotic. It runs all summer here on my dining room table, and then I roll into my fall decorations, and then Christmas. And so I love all the decorations, but here's what I've done. I had people ask me, well, where do you stop the decorating at, Miss Joan? That is for sure. Because we could go around the house with lights and fill every bush, and I have tried that over the years, and it was just exhausting to me. That's what you like to do, then you need to go for it. You just need to plan ahead and get you some help. But for me, I like to just decorate the entrances, the front door and the back entrance, because a lot of people come in my back door. And then I enjoy my dishes and my table, so I decorate my dining room table and the living room. And then we trimmed that. We have one tree. But I did a video too where how I store my tree, where it's decorated all year long, and we just pull it into the living room and plug it in. The name of that is Christmas Tree Up in Minutes. Is how I store my one Christmas tree. And what we do, and you'll watch that, it's just a few minutes, and it really helped us because we was doing a lot of work at the church, and we just didn't have a lot of time for the home decorations, and it solved it for us, and I love it. So anyway, I'd have one big tree. We don't have trees everywhere, and I've got some little ceramic trees, but I trimmed down to just one tree and decorating my dining room / living room area and the entrances of my house. And like I said, I do those things all year long. We just don't have a tree up. On the decorating, if you'll watch my video, it sounds like an advertisement, but I did one storing big items for holidays and anytime. That box system, I have a copy of that here in my planner, but I know it so much I don't have to refer to it. But if you will look that little video up, it'll show you how to organize your stuff, and you can find it in a matter of minutes. Anything you have stored away, you can find it in a matter of minutes. A lady wrote me on YouTube the other day. She said, "Oh, I run a t-shirt business," and she said, your box system has saved my life. She said, we was needing something, and I said, "Oh, look here. It says it's in box," I think she said 9A. And she said, "We went right to it and got it, Miss Joan," and she wrote me about it, and it just blessed me so much because I thought, oh man, my little videos is helping some people. But I like to keep my decorations organized in this little box system, if you'll watch that, and it helps me decorate in just a little while for any holiday. I've tried to trim back and not have so many different kinds of dishes too, like just have a few for the holidays and not have just tons and tons of them. Of course, you've got to realize that if you're going to buy any new decorations, you're going to incorporate them and get them stored away. But I absolutely love decorations. That's part of my enjoyment of Christmas. All right. Now, after decorating, what did we say we were going to talk about? Company coming. If you're having guests come over, that's one of them. I did a little video called Simple Guest Room Ideas. And I hate to just keep plugging them, but all of that was in the class that I taught. And it'll just save you a lot of time if I just tell you I've already done a video about that. So far, we're approaching a year of having YouTube, and so a lot of the things that I really live by, I have put some videos out there that really does help us and keep the home life rolling so much smoother. I love company. Last year for Christmas, my brother got to come, and he stayed with us a couple of weeks, and I had a friend here that I love dearly. She's been real sick with cancer, and she came because we all grew up together. We had the best Christmas ever. I had 2 separate guest rooms going, and I didn't have fancy guest rooms either. I just set it up in my piano room, the second room, and I just got a chart that I go by. All of that's discussed in that video, Simple Guest Room Ideas. And we had the best time, had company over and lots of dinners and just a relaxed holiday. And I pray that y'all can all do that too. And you can do it better if we just do a little advanced planning on all of this. All right, after talking about planning, we need to plan. We need to budget because we can't blow our budget. We need to think about gifts and how to trim them down and have a more simple gift giving time. Our food, our decorating, and if we're going to have company over, getting ready for them, for as a guest room or where they're going to stay. And the main thing is to make them feel so welcome. But the last one is the true meaning of Christmas. And that was one of the main Christmas videos I did last year. It was called Ideas for a Christ-Centered Christmas. That's also one of the parts of this class that I taught so many times called Deck the Halls, is how to turn our focus on Christ for Christmas. And I went through in that video several ideas that our family does that helps us keep our focus on Christ. There's so much fun to be had at Christmas with all of the different things that you can participate in. And sometimes all that Jesus gets left is the crumbs of Christmas, because we've just spent our time and our energy and our money all on other things. But watch that little video and it'll talk about some of the things, like we enjoy an Advent wreath where it's just 4 candles. And we're going to start that here for this year. Tomorrow is the first Sunday of December for us. And every Sunday of December, we'll have a time of just lighting one of the candles and talking about the anticipation that Christmas is coming. You know, it's getting closer and closer to the birth of Jesus. And we enjoy that here at our house. And then a manger scene that I have, and you just put a ribbon out and put 25 days on it, and we take baby Jesus and put him, he talks about it in that video in more detail, and every day he gets closer and closer to the manger on the day he was born. So, and see, that's one of them anticipating things for your children. And we love a birthday cake for Jesus. I mean, a good, pretty, beautiful cake, and celebrate Jesus. Kids love a birthday. That's all in there too. And the main thing is you, and I'm talking to the person who's in charge of Christmas at your house. I found this, and it really spoke to my heart. It says, "This is my Christmas pledge. I want to remember those people who truly need my gifts." You know, there are some people that don't have anybody around for Christmas. Maybe all of their loved ones has done passed on. Also, I will say in that Christmas video I was telling you to look at, ideas for Christ-centered Christmas, I really talk about those who are grieving and those who have lost someone for Christmas, because not everybody is feeling ho, ho, ho and jolly. You know, they're hurting. And just watch that and you'll see the ideas that we need to remember those who are grieving and talk about their loved ones, because they don't want you to forget them. And if you never mention them because you're afraid they'll start crying, that's not the way to do. They want to hear their name. They want to know their loved ones still in your heart and your mind. Anyway, this Christmas pledge. Remember those who truly need gifts. And it might be the gift of your time, the gift of your encouragement, the gift of your phone call. It doesn't have to be a monetary gift. Okay, to express love for my family and friends in more direct ways than presents. Sometimes we just need to sit down and talk to them, play games, anything, just to enjoy your family and your friends. I want to rededicate myself to the spiritual growth of my family. We got to realize that our family's growing fast and growing up and leaving the nest, so to speak. Have we really saw that they grew spiritually? Boy, that's something to think about, isn't it? And to examine my holiday activities in light of the true meaning of Christmas. Are we really keeping the focus on Christ while enjoying all the wonderful events of Christmas? And then here's one: to initiate one act of peacemaking within my circle of friends and family. Sometimes, you know, and I talked about that in that little Christmas video I was telling you about, ideas for a Christ-centered Christmas. There's always somebody around us when we get together with a larger group in our family that gets on our last nerve. And we can develop where we don't even want to be around them, hurt, or just stay away. But try to one act of peacemaking between my family and friends. It could be you divorced and a lot of bitterness or hurt between you and your ex-spouse, and just initiate one thing of peacemaking, because the children are watching us. The young people are watching us, how we react with other people. And that's the only way they're learning how to react with people in their lives. So let's try to do that this Christmas. I want to, you know, the book of Luke has 24 chapters. Read one chapter a day. And you've read the whole book. You've heard not just only the Christmas story of Jesus' birth. You've heard from him coming into the earth, to him dying on the cross, to him rising again out of the grave, and him ascending to the Father, and he's our soon coming King. Just from that one book of Luke. And we all want to read Luke 2 on Christmas Day, where the baby Jesus was born. Read the whole book and learn about his whole entire life. Would you this Christmas? And you don't have to have a lot of people in your family. You can have the Advent calendar and enjoy the manger scene and get your Bible out and read out of the book of Luke all by yourself and just have the most wonderful worship experience. I like to get on YouTube and look up my favorite Christmas songs and play them in the background and worship music. It's just a wonderful time to calm down and not get caught up in so much of the hustle and the bustle and enjoy our Christmas. And when we get through, I hope we've had a wonderful Christmas. We've decked our halls, but instead of this, we have decked our halls and enjoyed our family. I hope this has been a blessing to you. I know I tried to advertise, I guess is the word, a lot of my former videos, but it's all the things that I taught in this class that we had already videoed. But I just want to wish all of y'all a wonderful Christmas, and I have enjoyed making all of the videos. I've enjoyed all my subscribers, people that write me and tell me about the one where I made where I was getting over my knee surgery. I just get blown away that 45,000 views on that one video. It's like, oh Lord, I hope this encouraged somebody. I hope it made them feel better and realize that take it one day at a time. So all of this year, we got 365 days. Let's take them one day at a time. Let's enjoy every one of them. And the days that we have left in this holiday season, let's calm down. Maybe you hadn't looked in that Bible in a long time. Open it up and just read a few lines and whisper up a prayer to the Lord and just feel that peace that passes all understanding come into your heart. And He's the reason for Christmas. We're not going to apologize for that here at Home with Miss Joan. I really believe He's the reason for living, not just to Christmas, but He's the reason for the joy that I have in my heart all year long. Thank you so much, and I hope that somebody gets a blessing out of this or a word of encouragement from right here at Home with Miss Joan.